All right, Josh. Josh, where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
Central Florida.
Central Florida.
Little town called DeBerry.
And tell me about how you grew up. You had both your parents when you were young?
Uh, for a little while, and then at about 11 years old, I would say I have one brother, and we're 2 years apart. And so he's 9, and I was 11, and the parents divorced then. We had a little bit of a different situation, I guess, than most, because it's pretty common that kids always go with the mother. But that didn't happen. That wasn't our case. So we went and stayed with our father, and that caused a lot of kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I was 11, obviously, so I was naive and confused, and about I just thought my mom was leaving us, abandoned. I blamed her. Like, I was like, why are you doing this to us? Why would you do this? And it made me pretty upset for a while, for sure. It also, seeing when you see other people come into your parents' lives as new spouses and stuff, you have a hard time accepting that, because in the back of your head, really, you always, or you have that little glimpse of hope that maybe they'll get back together or something like that. But that wasn't really the case. So they both remarried eventually and stuff. And this kind of, I feel like I was raised very, anti-drug, raised Southern Baptist Christian. And so it was like, school of God, all that stuff. And I feel like, and that also too, my parents actually, they took me to a doctor, and I was prescribed that, it was diagnosed ADHD. And so they prescribed me Ritalin. And this was the first time drugs were introduced into my life. What's funny is I hated it. Like I would constantly be asking my parents to be off of it. I didn't want to take it. I had to take a pill in the morning. At lunch break at school, I had to go and take another pill, and then a pill in the afternoon when I got home. But this was something that I didn't want to do at all, and I felt like it just didn't feel right. I didn't feel like myself. And I was constantly trying to get off of it and wanting to not be on it, but my parents made me take it. And then this was also the first time that I ever had somebody come to me to try to buy my drugs, my pills, and that really threw me off. I was like, why the hell would you want these? I was like, I'm trying to not take them. So it was like, you want to pay me for this? So I feel like that was almost probably like a passive thing that I threw in the back of my head, which led to my times of selling a lot of drugs. But after high school and everything kind of just went kind of fast forward times 100. I mean, shortly from 18 to 21, by the time I was 21 years old, I was selling probably about 15 pounds of weed a week. And, being from Florida, this is where a lot of people know the pill boom happened. You had all these dirty doctors popping up, so everybody was kind of essentially almost made you like this legal drug dealer, because we're all going around with the same prescription. They all had 240 Perk 30s, Oxy 30s, 160 Oxy 15s, which made no sense. Same pill, just different dosage, and 90 Xanax bars. And everyone was doing the same thing. We'd get them, and we're paying 50 cents to $1 tops a pill to the pharmacies, and then we're hopping on planes, going up north to. Everyone knows somebody in New York or Boston or somewhere in the Northeast. And as soon as you took them up there, those people were paying $1 a milligram. So we're getting the pills for $1 and we're selling them for $30 a pill. So essentially, we're just going up there. You fly up, and then you fly back down with a stack that's big enough to beat a baby seal to death with. That really is when things definitely in my life, it got a lot more hardcore, I could say. Nobody knew about addiction, or nobody knew about like that we were going to be hooked. Nobody knew about withdrawals. Nobody knew about any of that shit. We just knew that, you smashed up a 30 and you sniffed it and you felt great. You wanted to clean your house. You had all this energy. You fucked for a long time. Like everything was awesome. So until the one day came along that maybe you didn't have any on you or something, then you're like, oh my God, I feel like shit. And that was definitely the start of my battle with opiate addiction, and that I've gone through in my life all the way to this day. And it's kind of been it's been hard because like I always my family always knows when something's up, because I've always been on two extremes in my life, which is like I love working out, I love the gym, I love being like physically fit and just that whole lifestyle, and I always like that extra pep in my step and everything. So like I a lot of times would get testosterone and or, which is steroids, whatever you want to call it, like would normally take a little bit of testosterone and everything every time I'm working out. So which if you can see some of the pictures on like some of my, like on my Instagram or something. My Instagram name is Jack the Ripper, and like there's some pictures of me on there and I look like a goddamn gorilla, so and then when I'm start partying a little bit, or then kind of go to that extreme, I'm just shrivel up, obviously, because I'm not working out, I'm doing drugs, and I'm not taking care of my body. So my family always knows there's no hiding it. They're like, oh, he's doing good because he's huge and jacked right now, or he's doing awful because he's lean and small or whatever. That's kind of how it's, I guess, been a lot of times for the most part. It seems like it's always been, it's never something I never want to. Sure, people get high and you want to get high and like you like the feeling, or everyone gets attached to a particular thing about their DOC, their drug of choice, that maybe makes them forget or not think about, stuff, or forget things. Or I kind of feel like I would always try to run from my addiction a lot. I found myself moving, I've lived in Pennsylvania, I lived in Pittsburgh for 7 years, and I loved Pittsburgh. I bartended for 10 years. I make damn good drinks, and I'm a social person. I love talking to people and, making people laugh. But it is one thing is very true that you're taught, is you can never run from an addiction. Like, it's always going to catch up to you. You might escape for a little bit, but it'll get to you eventually. Like, wherever you are, no matter what, it's inevitable. Like, you all know what I'm talking about, especially addicts out there, people who do drugs, you know what I mean? You're going to find it. If you really want it, you're going to find it. You're going to find some form of it, and you're going to get it. That's just how it is. But, I definitely love the travels I've been through and different experiences in my life, because I've gone from a great, bartending at awesome locations and places, and after-hours clubs, and I've even been a male stripper at a strip club, 3-story strip club for women. That was a pretty entertaining time. My stage name was actually Gavin Hammer. It was pretty funny. But
how long did you do that?
What's that?
How long did you do that?
It was for like a year. Yeah, it was.
So you were working out then?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was the best workout motivation in the world because every single weekend I knew, like that I was like, all right, I'm gonna be close to completely naked on a stage in front of a bunch of women. So I tell you what, that's really good gym motivation. Yeah, I did do. It was interesting too because so me and my brother actually were both did. He did a Dirty Dancing routine. We called it the Crazy Swayze, and I did a Country Boy routine, but it was every Friday and Saturday night that we had to do that we stripped, and did our routines and stuff, and so we were bartenders, so we always had scheduled off from bartending Friday and Saturday. So all our coworkers, we lived in a very rich, like uppity town in right outside of downtown Pittsburgh called Swickley, and this is where like the athletes live, the CEOs, all these people, and so we knew a lot of upper class families, and all these people, and so they couldn't know that about us. You know what I mean? So everyone was very confused at why we never wanted to, Friday and Saturday night in the bartending industry, you want to always work those nights as the biggest money nights. But we never wanted to work those nights because we couldn't. We were off, taking our clothes off for women. I remember I used to have this woman was a surgeon from West Virginia, and she's put 50s in my underwear. She was great. But that was, pretty wild. I've had, in the end, even when you think you have a rap on things and you're doing, and you're successful and you're making, when I was selling 15 pounds of weed a week and, making $2,500, $3,000 every week. And to date, the most I ever made in one day, in 4 hours, I made $2,750. And that was a really good day. But, and I'm making all that money, but then I'm buying bricks of heroin and, and shooting heroin every day. And I think a lot of this, I always wonder to myself, I guess, if I never would have took Ritalin or like never would have started like introducing things like that into my life, would I have ever done that? Or would I ever venture that? Like I remember the time where I like said I would never, ever, ever touch needles. Like I would never put a needle in my arm. And one of my best friends, still to this day, not a very best friend move, but I was not feeling well, a little dope sick that day. And I called my buddy and I was like, yeah, I needed something. And some of you will be familiar with this pill. It's called the Dilaudid D8 and the D. And that pill is meant to be IV'd. It's if you sniff it or if you eat it or anything like that, it's just, it's not the same. You know what I mean? It just doesn't really do shit, really, basically. But if you bang that thing, it is, you just feel like just a heat wave from your toes to the top of your head to the tip of your dick to like just you melt. And he told me, he was like, I tell you what, I got some Dilaudid on me, and he's like, I'll go ahead and I'll give you one for free. And he's like, but you gotta shoot it. And he's like, but you don't have to do anything. You can just put your arm out, I'll do it for you. And I remember that was actually in his car, in the driveway at my mom's house. When I was, I want to say 23, 24, I think. 23, I think, yeah. And that was the first time I ever put a needle in my arm. And, it was really shitty. It's caused me to lose a lot of things in my life that I've really cared about a lot.
How old are you now?
I turned 35 about a week ago, June 3rd, 1986.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
No kids.
I don't have no kids.
You had relationships? Been in love?
Yeah. I've had some amazing. I've had some truly amazing women in my life, and amazing, beautiful women. Joanna, Stephanie, Jessica, and a lot of beautiful women in my life. I'd say I'm tempted to say your full name so people can creep on you, but just you know what I'm talking about. But women that I have truly, because since I was young, my parents always thought it was funny, but I always knew that the two happiest days of my life would be the day I get married and see a woman walking down that aisle to me, and the day that I become a father. And unfortunately, I've had neither of those. And that's been my own fault, every time, because I've had amazing women in my life that I would have loved to have that with. And in the end, I've ended up slipping up and choosing my addiction over them. Most recently, Jessica was an amazing woman. I'll never forget. Thank you. The day she met when I first moved here to California, and the first job I found was for a dispensary, and I was holding the weed sign with the green cross on it and stuff for a new dispensary that opened. And she drove by, and she turned around and came back, and she came up and she goes, "Hey, you come here often?" And and I'm thinking to myself, what a stupid question, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I'm working stuff like that. I'm like, oh, she's hitting on me. And I'm like, and then, I was like, oh, what are you into? And long story short, we hung out that night. That was July 3rd, actually. And then the next day, July 4th, we got together again, and got a hotel room and didn't see one firework outside that night. It was great. But and we were together until a couple months ago because I chose something else instead of her. Essentially, that's the honest truth. And
It's not a choice, though. Is it?
it is a choice. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in the whole disease thing. I don't. I take responsibility. No one's holding a gun to my head when I sniff that line or
I mean, the first time you tried it was a choice, but then quickly the addiction kicks in, doesn't it? And it's beyond your control. From what I hear.
Yeah, it gets. It gets really hard to control, and there's a lot of days that you just sit there and you just you're like, fuck. Like, you just wish it would all be over. And I feel awful for all the wrong I've done to all the people
that I truly love and care about. My family, and until recently, I talk to my father all the time. I love my dad so much. And a few months ago, my phone was stolen again. What a fucking shocker. You all know about that shit in the world of drugs. Because you get high and you fucking fall asleep or pass out or nod, and your shit gets taken. I lost a tablet and 3 phones inside of 45 days. All with service and everything. And I lost that phone. It was just like, oh, fuck it. And just didn't talk to my dad for almost 3 months. And like, that's so fucked up. Like my poor dad, was worried sick, you know, thinking his son's dead or who knows, because he knows the addiction I battle. And that's just so fucking selfish. Yes, I want nothing more than to just be all behind you. It gets all behind you. I was doing good, and then I went on a hiking trip in the Sierra Mountains. I was healthy, strong. There's a picture on my thing of me and like up there in the mountains and doing great. And then I was on one rock and I had to hop down about 7 feet down to another rock, and on the landing I broke my left heel bone in 4 places about 1.5 years ago. And so I went to the hospital, and after I made it off the mountain, took hours, crawled, and fucking 2 other hikers helped me. Thank God, they were good guys. An arm around each of them, and I just hopped and until I finally got they laid me into the bed of a truck and then took me the rest of the way to get to a hospital, and then they shot me up with Dilaudid as soon as they saw my injury and everything, and then it was all over from there. Back on the trail. And you think you have a grasp on in the beginning, you know, you think you're strong enough to go ahead and just handle it, and like you maybe dabble, you do a little bit here and there, and then days go by and you don't do anything, and then but you know, we all know the reality. It's with everything. It doesn't matter whether it's fucking coffee or drugs or anything. Our bodies are designed and built in this way that we naturally build tolerances to anything. It's just how it goes, you know. My dad used to drink 2 pots of coffee every damn morning. You know what I mean? Some people think, holy shit, how the hell is he not just like, you know what I mean? Like all over the place, you know? Well, that was nothing to my dad because he drank more and more coffee as the years went by, you know? So in the beginning, when you're only doing a dime of heroin, it may start like that. And then as time progresses, the inevitable will happen. I don't care, whoever's watching this too, like, I don't care like how much you think you have a grasp on your addiction or whatever you think you got a handle on it. There is no handle on it. It is a beast that controls you. You do not control it. And not at any point. And you never fucking will. So you can't win with that demon. Like, so don't even try. Like, we all go ahead and try to convince ourselves that we can dabble and stuff and everything, but I party once in a while, I do whatever. Yeah. Well, but my plan is to go to detox very soon here.
So today you're living where?
I don't have a place right now. I was homeless, and I'm homeless, you know, so I had a spot in Echo Park originally is where I was, and Then they shut Echo Park down. They actually came at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was 3 Chevy Silverados, four-door 8-foot bed with the rails around the bed, and there was riot officers all around the beds. 3 of those came in, along with the whole another vehicles, a couple other vehicles with fence crew and everything, and at 1 o'clock in the morning at Echo Park, and then just like pit crew in NASCAR was just ding, 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 setting up the fence around Echo Park. And I actually was coming back to the park right when they put the first post in for the fence. And I was like, what's going on? And there's sheriffs everywhere. And I said, you can't come in. And, I was like, well, my stuff's in there. I'm homeless. My tent's in there and everything. And they say, okay, well, you can go in, but once you leave, you can't come back in, and no one else is allowed in. So it was really, really eerie and weird because I guess I lasted like 2 days. I was there for like 2 more days and stuff. I mean, they fenced off the whole entire park. The rules were no one could leave. If you left, you couldn't come back in. So once you left, that was it. And nobody could come in. No one could bring us supplies or anything at all. There were police officers I think it was like 50 feet, like around the whole entire park. So it was like you couldn't, if they saw somebody like approaching the fence, they would, they would see it, and they would, you couldn't do anything. So it was natural, to drown everyone out, because what's going to happen? People are going to run out of their drugs. No dealers can get in, or no food, or no nothing. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of time. It suffocated us out. And it's pieces of shit. They fucking lied too, and they were going around. They had a group of people associated with a couple of the different organizations. I think PATH and some other one or something, and they were trying to give us all housing and everything, and or what they call housing, but the different shelters and different things and stuff. And I told them, they came around to me, and I was like, all right. He said, I said, I've heard that the Grand, it's a housing place downtown LA. I've heard is decent, and I know some other people that got in there and stuff. And I said, okay, well, I'll go if you can go ahead and put me in the Grand, and give me a room there. And he said, and the lady said, yeah, oh yeah, sure, I got you, no problem. And you were allowed to pack 2 bags. So what my 2 bags were? This just give you an idea of where my life was, especially right then and there. My 2 bags were, one was my clothes and essential stuff like that, and the other bag was a bag of recyclables. That's what was one of my 2 bags. And then when I got out, the pieces of shit lied, and as soon as I got out, I stepped out, and they closed it behind me. They said, they said, okay, and they took a little bit of my information, and she goes, all right, just wait a minute, they'll talk to you when they figure out where they're gonna put you. And I said, well, they said, that lady right over there said they're gonna put me in the Grand. And then she goes, the Grand? No, we don't have any more room in the Grand. I mean, and so they manipulated, and they found out doing this to a lot of people, and lied to get me out. So I had left behind my tent, my sleeping bag, all my things that were really important and essential for me to survive out here. I had lost, and I had nothing but a fucking suitcase with some clothes in it, and some toiletries, things like that. That was it. And they fucked me.
I remember like just reaming out this twig, like this tall, skinny ass dude with a fucking googly eye. I was yelling at him and reaming out so bad. I was like, dude, I could hit you so hard and knock your eye straight. It was fucking, oh man, I remember that. And there was so many cops, and they were just getting closer and closer and closer, all surrounding me because they saw me, like I'm yelling, I'm screaming at this guy, and they thought I was gonna, rip his fucking head off, which I wanted to. He was the supervisor and everything. But I told him to. I was like, I'd snap you like a twig so fast before these cops even got their hands on me. And when I really said that to him, he was really fucking shitting bricks. But
So today you're on Skid Row?
but today, yeah, Skid Row, yeah.
Do you have a tent or?
I have a friend of mine has one. And kind of, shares. They hang out with him and stuff, and he's a good dude, good friend.
And how do you get your money?
Gotta hustle. That's how it is. You gotta make moves. It's a import-export business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you see hope of getting off the streets? Getting away from fentanyl?
Yeah, I do. That's what I want to do. My plan is to try to. I've been trying to. I had at one point EDD and stuff, and I haven't had unemployment or anything since December of last year, and I've been trying to get my, I have a driver's license, but wallets and everything get stolen all the damn time. So, and I've been trying to get my ED fixed. I haven't gotten one stimulus check. I've been trying to do that and everything, and I'm so sick and fucking tired of hearing everybody say, "Oh, it's so simple. You just go in and do the thing." Well, it's not simple for me apparently, and it doesn't like I can't just go in and do the thing or whatever. I've done it and it doesn't work. So I don't, and I don't know. I'm not some tax attorney, or I don't know all this stuff. So I'm not as tech savvy with that. So financially, it's been a little rough. And I just hustling my dick in the dirt, trying to survive. And when you trying to feed an addiction and feed yourself, and go work out and do all, and just have somewhat of an existence, a happy existence in a life, it's hard. But I do see hope in the end because in the end I do believe in God, and I know He's there, and I know He loves me, and I know I have faith in Him, and I have faith that it's going to be okay. And I'm going to go to detox, and I'm going to get clean, and I'm going to get away. I need to get away. I need to. It goes back to the running away. I'm not saying run away. I've met some amazing people here in LA. This is where my parents are from. My parents are from Downey, and I would love to come back here. And I need a detox, and I need to align my spirit and my soul and get clean and get my body healthy and right. And I see that happening sooner than later.
Excellent. It'd be great to see.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I really, really hope this helps some people out there.
I'm sure
God
it does.
bless you all.
I'm sure it will. Thank you, man.
Thanks.